So I hope everyone has actually noticed the little plaques on the table about the memory jar. We have collected a bunch of questions. The red is for memory of Don, share a favorite memory with my dad. The blue cards are a wish you well, give Don a special wishes and notes from you guys. And the yellow cards are ask Don a question about his pest control career and family in general. So I'm going to do probably one of each and just keep going, and we're going to do a little grilling of my dad. So let me start. I'm going to start with the yellow card first. Sorry. We're going to start with a up.
Too loud.
Dark as shade, baby, dark as shade. Okay.
Hold on a second, Robert. Sign up with Lynn. I just want to lift that mic up a little bit. Too long to lean over.
Sorry, this is my first time at the mic. Everyone good now? Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. Don Taylor, who is your favorite child and who is getting the teardrop in the prized Yeti collection? I don't know when we put this in the jar, but we can only assume. We can only assume.
You did say favorite daughter, right?
Favorite child. Child. C-H-I-L-D.
You mean which one brought me the least grief?
No. No. I already know who did that.
Next question.
I didn't know that there was a plead the fifth on this. Okay.
Every one of them different for who they are and what they are. Every one of them at one point, as they were growing up, worked with me at Kilroy. They come and they drug hose for me. Katie did. She couldn't pull quite the hose that the boys did, but she knew. You did a fine job. But she did all my paperwork. She knew the chem codes. She knew how much material we used at the house. She would have it all filled out. All I had to do was just spray and get back in the truck. And Ben and Rob both worked, each of them worked a summer with me, and that was priceless. It was to work with your kids. I don't think you could get away with that these days because of the labor laws.
He was Kathy Lee.
That's why you said you had us, was for child labor.
Yeah, that was,
No, it's,
sorry. Dad.
I love them each.
Dad, please,
okay.
speak up. Speak up.
Okay, no, it's every one of them individually is very unique and has their own special place. Rob, I can't tell you what having him as my legacy means to me. Since he's came on board, he seems to have provided a very valuable asset to Kilroy, and I'm very proud of that. So.
And thank you to this guy. Thank you to this guy, because it's not me, it's this guy.
We wouldn't be who we are if it wasn't for our father.
We wouldn't be us if it wasn't for our father, is what my sister just said. Anyways, let's get on to the questions. The blue card, wishing you well and happiness in your next adventure in life. Didn't really have an initial or anything like that, but I'm sure everyone feels that way. So now to the pink card. Training a new employee. Oh shoot. I should read these cards before I actually say them.
Hey, Rob. I got it. That's me.
Thank you, Rico. Training a new employee, Lauren, with all her,
Hey, Rob. That's your dad being frustrated with her.
Princess Lauren,
Don,
thank you.
how organized is your dad, right? He's trying to train her.
Yes.
Yeah. how organized-
Training new employees like Lauren, it was my dad's organizational skills. And showing her that she was a little bit running out of her headlights, or past her headlights, I should say. But my father has been an integral part of all of us coming into Kilroy with his organizational skills and his knowledge of the route and how to run a route. And I think that's what Rico is really trying to get at, and especially sometimes with the most difficult of technicians. But there's also so much of a love that's there along with it. So, to the
He
next.
has so many other skills and abilities, just maybe not the ones that Don has.
Thank you for the asterisk.
Laura, Princess of Darkness.
That's my dad. Yellow card. At what Walmart will you be greeting at? I just said these questions were going to be civil.
Well, I applauded several of them, but I did like the one in Morgan Hill because it's close to home. So it really cuts down on my commute dollars.
Good answer. Good answer. Blue card. Hi, Don. Congratulations. Just some advice from the heart. Be nice to Pam. In case you were aware, she's your new boss. Love Mike's boss, Bridget. Thank you, the Ledesmas. We have a pin card. I once went to a seminar and saw a picture of a man spraying into a tree with sleeves rolled up, gloves rolled up, and no respirator.
Ken Machida.
I think he's got your number. And they asked, what is wrong with this picture? It was of Don. Always to set an example, good or bad. Got another yellow card? Okay, this is a good one. I really want to hear this. What's your worst pest control job that you did? Cockroaches, bed bugs, wild animal retrieval,
Yeah,
dead animal retrieval.
that one.
Can you give me an instance that just
Yes.
sticks out?
Yes. One that comes to mind is under for San Jose Water, I think, off of Hamilton. And they had they had a bad smell, so I went underneath, and it was a possum that I had to get out of there, and it was bad, and it was with a shovel, and the whole thing just come apart, and I still had to get it in a bag and get it out from under the building. That was the worst one.
I hope you guys are enjoying the meal this evening.
That's the meal.
I just want to let you know in about 15 minutes we're going to have dessert. So we have much more interesting questions, so brace yourself. Let's go with the pink card. It doesn't really say who this is from, but I like the sentiment. Always being a fatherly figure to me, and always encouraging me and smacking me around. I get almost think it's the princess. No, no. Someone out there loves my dad in affection. Okay, now to a blue card. Dawn, you deserve the best in life because you give the best. Good luck in your adventures, Lillian. Thank you, Will. Am I to a yellow card now? I think so. I think this is a question everyone has who works at Kilroy. This is a big question for everyone. Dawn, who is going to make the coffee and do the dishes when we need you most?
Crystal.
Miss Crystal, thank you so much for carrying on.
The agenda for my desk pretty much came from Lynn, so take it up with her.
Okay.
Rob,
One. Yes, ma'am.
how are you at coffee dishes?
I'm horrible at coffee. That's why I have him make it for me every morning. I don't do dishes or windows. I don't do dishes or windows. Ben can do dishes and windows. He's very good at it. He does it for me all the time. One more. Pink card. I would miss beef jerky and miniatures of Snickers. You fill your pockets when you come and visit, to all of us, and we will miss that most. Thank you guys so much, and I think dessert is going to be ready in a few minutes, in about 5 minutes. So please enjoy whatever you have rest of your meal, and then Kendra will announce the dessert, and then we'll get on to another round of the jar. So everyone enjoy, and we'll talk to you soon.
I'd like to thank you all for your affection and everything. It's so hard for me to put any of it into words. If you knew what I've been through from the original founders, really is so formative in my life in so many ways. A lot of them very personal and deep felt. But Kilroy is what it is today because of our founders, and I think about them a lot lately. But as we sit here, it's really and this is also a celebration not just for myself, which is kind of unusual that many years, but if you ask all of the techs around here that have been here for a long time, they would understand. The only difference is I just got an early start. It's just where I was at that place in time. But I'm sure that everybody that knows Kilroy can understand what I'm saying. But thank you all.
Favorite route and why?
The question was, what was my favorite route?
Yes, and why?
Saratoga. Ask Ron. No, it's Saratoga, hands down. It was a big route, big homes, and that's back when we had figure 8 in the back of the trucks for the hose instead of the power wheels. But I was young and strong, and I had the greatest rapport with all of my people, but Saratoga, hands down, was my favorite route. It was a wonderland of just beauty. It's beautiful up there. And yeah, it's Saratoga, hands down. But over the years of Willow Glen and Cupertino, Willow Glen was great. It was close to the shop. But Saratoga was my home, and I go back there now, and all I have to do is drive down the street, and the memories just come flooding back from all the years. Yeah.
All righty, so the next one is, I will always remember Don walking around with his coffee cup or mug.
Yes.
All right, this one says, Don, AKA Dad, happy retirement and happy trails on your new ventures with Mom. We love you, Holly, Chris, and Austin.
Thank you, Hassels. That's Katie's lifelong friends and ours too for many, many years. The Hassels showed up tonight, and I appreciate you doing that. Thank you.
Okay, here's another question, and I'm sure this is one everybody is wondering. How long is Pam's honey to-do list right now?
I haven't let her submit it yet.
That's probably a very good idea. Another question. What, besides Daniel Corey, is the weirdest thing you have ever seen at work?
Cliff Page.
Oh, that went south real quick. All right, here's another one. Our gravy days at the depot spraying for green. Going back and seeing that the ground was flat and dead.
What about it?
That's a memory.
Oh my gosh, that was the Wild West out there. This was 6 years ago now, and me and Tommy and David Flowers, we had really a free hand to do what we wanted to do, and they were always there for us with the materials on time, and we had 2,200 acres between two sites that we did, and it was perfection. For 5 years, we kept the place just immaculate, and that was. That's always been one of my fondest memories, working with Tom. Driving around on the mule with David Flowers. I won't get into the stories on that, but that was something that I was talking to him about this morning, and that was very, very fond memories.
Alrighty, just so you know, I didn't write these questions, okay? So the next one did not come from me, Pam. How are you going to handle being home with Pam 24/7?
Be at the shop half that time.
How did we know that was going to be the answer? All right. Can you name all of your routes that you've had in the areas that you covered? Is that a definite no? Maybe?
I can't get all of them.
Okay, what can you remember?
Well, let's see. In the beginning, it was Cupertino. See, I wasn't there for very long at all. I want to say 2 or 3 years, and then it was Saratoga, and then it was 20 years of that. But I had Willow Glen and Cupertino, all off the Prospect area. Headed out to Cupertino off of Blaney, for those of you who know what I'm talking about. That corridor out that way. But Saratoga was, when I got there, this is it. I really had a wonderful time working Saratoga. Oh, Morgan Hill and Gilroy too. In the later years, I took over the Morgan Hill route from Mark Stufloten. I believe he was coming down that way, and I took that over. And then in the mornings, I would do Saratoga, Los Gatos, and Montessorino. In the afternoons, it was Morgan Hill, Gilroy, and San Martin. So I had a full day and would wind up at home. Worked good. Yeah.
Alrighty, so this is a very good memory for Don. This one says, thank you for your memories of my dad. It helps me know another side of him and keeps his memory strong for me. That is from Jan.
Thank you, Jan.
All right, I think I have time for one more, unless they fire me before then. What is the craziest thing that has ever happened to you when you were working a route?
Oh, that's pretty easy, really. We used to have a 500-gallon tree truck and I just filled it up in Saratoga, Peach Hill Road. And it was a real steep driveway, and I backed off the edge of it with full tanks and started going down, and the brakes weren't working. I had them to the floor. Right at the bottom.
know that truck. You guys don't
You'd have to know the truck. At the bottom of the driveway was a turn, and beyond that was the house. And I had to make a decision, and the truck wasn't stopping. Going slow, but it wasn't stopping. And I got right to where the decision point. I shut the key off, popped the clutch, pulled the emergency brake, and it died and stopped. And I looked up the driveway, and there was 2 long strips of rubber that came all the way down that driveway. And I sat there white-knuckled, hanging onto the wheel for like 2 minutes when it was over. I almost put that truck into that house. So that one was really sticks in my memory. Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't do that because you might not have a job with us that long.
One time Phil and Vince almost let a weed truck get away from him and go over the hill down into the canyon, and got into the truck just in time and got it stopped. So I'm not the only one who's had close encounters.
It could be close, just as long as you don't hit anything major.
Right.
All right, at this time, I'd like to ask Tom Vada to join me on stage and say a few words. Tom has worked with Don the past 37 years and is our second longest tenured employee at Kilroy.
Yeah, rookie.
Ever the rookie.
Okay, I'll be a little, I'm going to try not to be so emotional.
Mike, baby,
I'm
Mike.
going to try not to be so emotional.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Okay, I want to congratulate you on your retirement.
Keep
I want to congratulate you on your retirement, and I hope you're going to have fun with Pam. I know my years are coming, so I've got Londa back there, so
Yeah.
it'll keep me busy. You know, I've worked so long with Don, and he was talking about the depot. If I didn't have David and Don with me working the depot, I'd probably still be out there spraying weeds. That's how big the job was, and it took a lot out of us every day when we were spraying like almost 3,000 gallons of material every day. So that's how much work we were doing. And you know, like I said, I couldn't get through without David and Don on that. But some of the old, I've got some stories about Don, especially with when we were out doing tree trimming, and we did olive tree spraying and tree trimming. You know, him and his boys would come out and trim trees on the weekends. And so one day I had him come out with me and trim the trees of my sister-in-law's house up in Cupertino. And she's got about 2 acres of fruit trees, and we're out there all day spraying the trees. And this young guy right here, Robert, he's just a kid. He was our gopher. So, and I had my son with me, and we're trying to get him to work faster because we were pruning the trees fast. And it was an adventure. And the kids had a good time. We paid them well. I started back in '81, and Phil hired me, and Vince and George, and these are the guys who are on the walls when you go into the shop. Those are the old timers. Hopefully he'll be up on the wall.
Save me a spot. That's our memorial wall. All of those who have passed or have a spot on the wall there at Kilroy. I said, saves me a spot.
Yeah, there's over the years we've had some guys that came in. You know, Mondays and Fridays weren't good at Kilroy. If you didn't come to work on a Friday and you didn't come to work on a Monday, we knew you had a really good weekend. And our old saying was, so what happened? Do you have a pimple on your ass this morning? That's
No,
why
that
you
was
didn't
your
come to work?"
saying.
So that was one of the things George used to say a lot back then with the guys that were working. And Mark Stuflaughlin back there, 20 years with the company. And Steve Peterson, he's one of the old timers too. He's right behind me. and Dougie. You know, I trained a lot of these guys here, and so did Don, and a young kid here too. He knows about his first rat job that I took him on. He can tell stories. But I just want to say, Don, congratulations. And I hope you have a good retirement. Stay safe. Make lots of jerky, okay?
Thank you for the memories, Tom.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, in just a moment, we're going to hand out some programs for our featured presentation. So bear with us for just a moment as we hand out those programs, and then our program will begin.
Are we done here?
You got one more round of this, so brace yourself.
I guess you could go back.